This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so yesterday we have discussed about uh, what are my different phases in the implementation projects, where do we fit in those phases, and what exactly we will do, right? So we will do a baseline configuration, and that we will be doing in the development server, all right? And that configuration will be moved to my sandbox system where I will do some testing. This is like a playground, I told you. And then we will be moving the changes to quality, where we and business both will do the testing. Once they are satisfied with the results, then the things will be moved to the production with the help of a basis team. Here we can do by ourselves. Here we cannot do. Where we need approvals, we need basis team. So how do we do this? We will come when we start the configuration part. Okay. Here again, we will not get all of these servers to see because this is my one box where I'm going to do everything. But just to give you a glimpse, so here you can see client 100 is there, client 200 is there, and client 400 is there. So here you can imagine that this is 100 is my development client, 200 is my sandbox client, and 400 is my quality client. So you can imagine like this, and similar to this, you will be changing your system here if you are logging to a sandbox. If you're logging to a quality box, you will be changing your system here, right? But this will be on your real-time environment, not here. Here we are going to log in only one system, which is 100, and then this particular will be acting as a sandbox, quality, production, everything for me. But just to give you the glimpse as in how you will log into different systems is something using different clients here. Okay, so you will ignore this particular part right now, and then we have, okay, so there is Karthik. Hi Karthik. So this will be your day one. I hope you have seen the yesterday's recording. Shrikant would have or Viraj would have shared to you.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning. We'll just take a 1 minute pause and I'll just see what Karthik has to say. So Karthik, you are from SAP background or non-SAP background?
Sir, non-SAP background, sir.
Okay, fine. And then what we will do is we'll continue with the class, and towards the end of this class, if you have any questions, we'll stay back and then we can discuss. Okay.
Yeah, sir. Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, sir. Okay.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. So I told you that before we jump into the production planning configuration and understand what is production planning for which we came to this class, first we need to understand where exactly my implementation project starts. So any implementation project has to start from the structure, which is my enterprise structure. Our role as a PP consultant will not be here, but it is good to understand what is my company, okay, what is my company code, what is the controlling area, and not in the details, as in what we are giving the fields mapping or what data we are doing and how that data will be different. Okay, here we do not have to understand many things. We just need to understand, okay, company, it can be Reliance, it can be my Tata, or it can be any client who is coming to get your implementation done from your company, okay, or a service provider like TCS, Infosys, or Deloitte, Accenture, like that. So enterprise structure, Suvarna, we are going to discuss right now. We will log into the system, and it holds most of the configuration from the finance point of view, from other modules as well. So to go to the implementations screen, we need to go to SPRO. Okay, press enter. click on this reference IMG, and here you have this enterprise structure. Okay, there are so many other things, but it will start from here. And here you have definition, you have assignment, and then you have some consistency check. So like I mentioned, we are not going to do any configuration here because there is nothing related to PP, but it before PP I should have my structure ready, right? Then only I can define my production planning. So here you can see financial accounting is there, controlling is there, logistics is there, sales is there, material management is there, okay, and other modules. But you do not see PP because PP is down below. We will cover that after a few days. So if I go to my financial accounting, what is required? Not everything is required. So I need to see company, okay, under that company code. So this is the company that we are going to follow is 1710. So whatever configuration, whatever changes we are going to do will be under my 1710, and 1710 will be also my plant, which I will show you little later. Okay, today only. So if I go inside, what is being entered in my company, I will have my company name. Okay, so if this is your Reliance Power Limited, then you will have the name of the company as Reliance Power Limited. So any client will give you the details, as in the finance guy will configure this part. Okay, they will enter the address, the language, and the currency which they are following. If it is an American company, it will follow USD. If it is an European company, it will follow euros. Okay, if it is Indian, INR. So that's all we have in the company. Okay, so once the company will be defined by the finance guy, you have to click on controlling. So this is totally dedicated to them. We do not have any interest and we do not do any configuration as well in the real life. Okay, so under that, what is my controlling area? So under which controlling area my company is assigned and under which controlling area my plants will come, that is something we should be aware of. Okay, so I know this A000 is the controlling area where my plants and where my company will be assigned. Okay, that this we are still in the definition mode. When we go to the assignment mode, you will see how the assignment is done. So if you open this controlling area, here this is completely related to the finance part. Okay, chart of accounts, fiscal year variant, currency, source, types, those things are completely from finance. Here, if you ask me, okay, even I might not know everything because this is something we are not doing anytime. This is only for our understanding, as in from where we start. So once the controlling area will be also defined by the finance guys, do not do any changes as well. Okay, that is something, because if you do any changes, if you try to make any changes, delete something, add something, it will impact everything. Okay, so do not do any changes here. If you want to look, you can definitely go, but do not save anything. So under the logistics, this is something we are interested in. Okay, plant, because that's where my so any manufacturing starts where and in the plant, right? So whenever you talk about any company who is into manufacturing, they would say that I have a plant in Baroda, I have a plant in Ahmedabad, or I have a plant in Chennai, right? So that's where the configuration starts. Under the plant, we will do all the configuration. So what is the plant? What are the things which are available in the plant? Okay, from PP point of view is something that we should be again aware of. If I go to define plant, okay, I like I told you, the plant and the company code will be of the same numbers, which we are going to follow as 1710. And this is a standard plant from SAP where all the configurations are done, predefined, and we do whatever we need as per our requirements, business scenarios. Okay, so this something we can say is implemented like a best practice where everything is completely intact. So in the plant, you will again see there is language, street address, postal code, right? And there is something called as factory calendar. So factory calendar is something which will decide that how many number of days you are going to work in that particular plant. Okay, this is one thing. A factory calendar will also decide if you have any special holidays and do you want to work on that particular holiday, or it will be declared as a holiday like we have in India, right? We have Gandhi Jayanti, we have Labor Day, those things. So factory calendar will define all of those things, and this is something where what a PP guy will be doing it. Factory calendar is a responsibility of a PP guy. Okay, so how do we define factory calendar? So I'm writing two things. If you notice here, I'm always giving a slash and I'm putting O. Okay. So slash O means this particular screen will stay and a new screen will open. This you can do, or you can always click on this as well for a new window. If you want to close this window and then you want to open a new window on this, I will be doing slash N. Okay. So here I want to compare something and I want a new window, I'll do slash O. My transaction code for the factory calendar would be SCAL, SCAL, press enter. And here also you can notice the T codes will be available here. Okay. And I have public holidays, holiday calendar, and then factory calendar. So what exactly we are going to look is factory calendar. Go to display. And here you have from each country, each specific region, we have different factory calendars, which is predefined from SAP. All right. We can also define our own factory calendars by copying certain factory calendars. So suppose my client is in Germany or in Europe, I can copy this and I can create a new calendar for him where I will be doing some customization. Why do I need to do customization is if I go to my calendar and then I see entire years are mentioned. So we'll go to 2022. And here you look, Saturday and Sunday is different color. If I move my mouse, it says non-work day. Okay. So if my client says I'm following my factory calendar, but I do not want Saturday and Sunday to be a working day, I'm working on all 7 days. Then I will not be doing changes on this because this is the first rule of SAP that do not make changes into the standard settings. If you want to do something, always try to copy and create your own and then do changes in that. Okay, that is the very first rule. 1 minute. All right, so Saturday and Sundays we want to make completely work days. Okay, or if I have All Saints Day here, somewhere in the middle it is holiday. Now I do not want to give this holiday and I want to continue the production on this. I will try to make this as a work day. Okay, I can do that by doing some changes to my factory calendar. Right. Factory calendar, is it only for making holiday and non-holiday? Does it impact only like this? No. So if I have Saturday and Sunday and if my order, the production order is scheduled on Saturday, system will automatically push it to Monday. It will not do, it will not give you start date and end date on Saturday and Sunday. Or if you are starting on Friday, suppose, it will exclude these 2 days and it will add 2 days here. That means your operating time will increase. because system is saying that you cannot work on Saturday and Sunday. There is no capacity on those dates. Your labor is not coming. System will understand this. That's why if client says that I am working on all 7 days, then we have to make this as work day. Understood the concept?
Okay, so is the reverse posting is also possible, Harsharan? For example, if Sunday or Saturday is a planned date, so can that be done on one day before on Friday?
That totally depends upon your capacity. Okay, if my client
Okay.
has enough capacity to fulfill orders on Friday, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying what system will do is system will not allow you to schedule something on Saturday or Sunday, or it will add these 2 days more. And if you were supposed to finish it on Monday, including this, it will push it till Wednesday.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, fine. So this can be doable. It depends upon the capacity, what how much we are planning, right?
Correct, correct, correct. If your client is not bothered about capacity, then he says, no, I will manage my own, then you can do something on Friday itself. That is fine.
Okay, fine. Okay, understood.
Right. And this public holidays are available in standard.
Suppose if you maintain throughout the year as Saturday and Sunday holiday, what if happens uh, in the middle of the year? I want to use my capacity in some Saturday and some Sunday, depending on the urgency deliverable. So
Correct.
is it can we switch the factory calendar on particular Saturday and Sunday
No,
for
we
that
do not.
particular week or
Yeah, yeah. So I was coming to that point. Okay, so we do not have to switch any factory calendars in that case. What we need to do is we do have some special rules. Okay, I was coming to that point. I was going to show you. So if you say example that I want to make, we'll go with Saturday and Sunday holiday. And now you are saying that 1 week, Saturday and Sunday, I need to work, right? Or vice
yes,
versa. You
yes.
are having all Saturday and Sunday as working day, and one Saturday and Sunday you want to give off to everyone. And this is applicable to everyone, not only one labor. Okay, one labor is applying leave, but if you want to make it a default for everyone, is special rule. So this is my Germany standard, and I'll go to the pencil, which is change mode. Okay, here you see something called as special rules. So 1 day or 1 week where I want to make any changes from holiday to non-holiday or non-holiday to holiday, if I want to make that, then what I'll do is here you have to uh, do not do changes here, because if you do it here, okay, if I'm making work days as Saturday and Sunday, this complete 2020 till 2050 it will make Saturday and Sunday as holiday, sorry, work day. If your requirement is this, we can do like this. Okay, that every time I'm working on Saturday and Sunday. But if there is any special case, like you mentioned, that I only few days I want to make either holiday or non-holiday, how can I do it? I will go to my special rules. Okay, there are definitely some special rules are maintained, because I have shown this in my previous batches. Okay, now I want to create a special rule here, and then what is my upcoming Saturday, which is 6th. Okay, so here you need to update your calendar first of all. Let me see if I can type 0608. Okay, copy, and whatever number of days if you want to do, see, if the number of days is in one stretch, that from 6th to 8th, 2 days you want to make either holiday or non-holiday, then you can give it in sequence. Okay, if you have holiday working day again holiday, then you have to do this twice, because here you cannot give the breakup here. And you have option of either making a work day, or you have option of making this holiday. If it is holiday already, which is Saturday is already holiday, I'm trying to make it as a work day, so I'll put a tick mark here, and I will say testing for holiday. then I will create this new rule. Okay, so this date came, and then I'll save it. Right, we will go back and verify. Click on calendar, 2022 year, and here if you see this 6th, which was earlier holiday for me, I have made it as a work day. This is called a special rule, which definitely comes into your support tickets. Okay, every now and then, if you have like a client who is working in multiple regions, working in US, Canada, Mexico, Asia, somewhere else, right? So there you will get this kind of issues, that I want to make this as a work day, or if it is a work day, I want to make it as a holiday. So this would be like a continuous support ticket which
Hello,
will come. Yeah.
Asha, just a small doubt.
Hmm.
Client asking for the next 6 months. I need alternative Saturdays. I need work day. How can you
Hmm.
prepare for that for
Just
next
now I
6 months?
for next 6 months, right? So you
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
make special rules. So we have to make those many special rules. I do not have anything which I can just schedule and it will do it. Either I can make all holidays or all non-holidays, but if I have any special requests, it has to come from special rule multiple times.
Multiple times.
Multiple
Okay,
times.
okay.
So I see, if you go to the special rules, you do not have option of giving in one sequence. I told you one sequence means it will take those number of days.
Okay.
So here I do not have, like, it is valid from and valid to. I do not have anything that I can write in between. If I say for 6 months, it will make all 6 months either work day or non-work day.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have to create
Alternative.
multiple.
Second week, second Saturday, third week holiday. After that, fourth week, second Saturday is holiday. For monthly, so bank employees like bank employees, they are working
I
for
understood your
second
question.
Saturday and fourth Saturday is holiday.
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah. How
understood.
can we make it?
Like Indian banking
Mm.
holidays, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to make it as a special rule one by one.
One by one for 6 months.
Yes, or you have to create a new calendar altogether when you are in the implementation project.
Okay.
But if it comes in between, like a support ticket, and then they realize we want to make this as a structure every Saturday or
Mm.
every third Saturday holiday, then you have to make it one by one.
Okay, so
Okay, okay.
it's a manual activity.
Correct.
Okay, and what is this, Archana, this value 4993? What is the meaning of this? Factory date start. I can see one value down.
Factory date start will go, even I did not realize anything on that. One
Okay,
minute.
because actually this value is varying for different your calendars. So if you open 2022, you
Start
can see
number.
something.
Yeah, so for everyone who is from non-SAP background, if you want to read anything, okay, what is the scenario behind that? You can always click on that particular field, click on F1, and you will get this particular information from SAP, which is default. Okay, start number from where the factory date is counted, use and dependency and procedures.
Harsh, what about this factory shift timings and all those things?
The shift timing is something which is not defined in factory calendar. It is defined in your work center.
Okay,
So
okay.
work center is something where we define that, okay, my labor will be working for 8 hours or 10 hours and my machine will be working for 24 hours. All of those things are
Yes.
part of your work center. The factory calendar can
Okay.
only define if it is a working day or non-working day. That's all.
Here we can define only the working days and non-working days, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So once you have defined your factory calendar, it will go to your plant, and this particular plant will follow those number of days in working or non-working days. And whenever you are doing the production order under this particular plant, your factory calendar will be considered. Okay, not only my production orders, but my purchase orders will be also considered. So if I'm creating a purchase order on Saturday and Sunday, I will definitely get a warning that this is not a working day. Do you want to go ahead? It will be a warning. Okay, it will not be a hard stop. So you can ignore and you can go ahead. So that's why for purchase orders also, this will be like a vital thing to do. And for manufacturing, yes, definitely. Like I told, our capacity depends upon my factory calendar. And factory calendar, if not defined in my plant, can be defined in the work center as well, which I'll cover when we are doing master data.
Okay, Harsh.
All right. So this is something which is important, like I mentioned over here. Okay. So after that, we will go in the, okay, under the sales and distribution, again, you have sales and distribution channels. So you have distribution centers, DC we call. So this is something which completely a sales guy will be doing it. Here we do not have any interest. We have interest here because my factory calendar was part of plant and we do manufacturing under that plant. Okay. And then material management guy will be maintaining the storage locations. So where my product will be stored coming from the vendor. If I produce my finished product, where will I store, right? Those things, the storage locations will be defined by my guy. Now if I go to the assignment, here again I have the same thing because you configure something and then you need to assign. So here you have assign company code to the company. The assignment will be like this. There will be no details. You're just giving the assignment. Go back under the controlling. So I told you we will be following 8000. And if I double click on this, here I have my 1710 as my company code. And this also stores other company codes. Okay. So sometimes, I'm not sure if you have heard this, there is concept of special procurement key, okay, which we will cover for my subcontracting process. But there could be also special procurement keys if you have a different plant, like you are manufacturing in two different plants in the same company code. Okay, so you are having this and this where you are manufacturing. Sometimes you have stock here and sometimes you do not have a stock here, but you want to deliver to the customer. So what you do, you provide stock from 110 to 1710. Okay, and this is under one company code. Then there will be a different special procurement key, and then stock transfers are available, which is completely a different concept. Just giving you the hint as in why we need to know controlling area. And sometimes in different controlling areas we will be having it. So then the configuration will be different. If it is outside my controlling, if it is both in same controlling area, then special procurement key will be different. And if it is something which is outside my controlling area, then the configurations will be different. So that's why this is something which is important for us to know if it is falling under the same controlling area or different controlling area. If we do not know, definitely a finance guy can tell you. But if you know the configuration here, where I can go and see, you can always see you should not be dependent.
A controlling area is like a book of ledger, something in terms of finance.
We can say that this is something that all the company codes, okay, will follow one certain procedure that is defined under the controlling area.
Oh, means if you have the multiple companies under one, is it possible to have the multiple companies, the company codes
Yeah,
under one
yeah,
control area?
you have just seen that, right? We have so many different companies under one company code. So here you have this four company codes under one controlling area. So if you define something here, all of these are going to follow the same. Okay, so here we have assigned plant to the company code. So when we are doing manufacturing in one plant, okay, where my plant is connected, under which company code, and that particular company code is attached to which controlling area. So it is having a sequence and it is having an attachment. Okay, so here you can see my plant and company code is attached here. Similarly, my company code is attached to my controlling area. Controlling area is attached to the other things, right? So this is the sequence which is going on in the assignment. After you have understood the definition and assignment, or I would say in the real project, once the finance guy and sales guy, guy has done their job, okay, that I have completed everything, then only there will be a green light for a production guy to start his production. Until unless they have done, we have to sit idle in the production implementation projects. Okay, so here if you notice, I have showed you this, and then only I can start something from my manufacturing point of view. So where I have my production, if you scroll down, and here I have production, and I have production for the process industries. Okay, so for chemicals, for pharmaceuticals, we will be looking into this, and for the discrete industries, we will be looking into this. So we will start with the basic data, what is available in the basic data. So in the first class, I told you we have master data which are important from PP point of view, which is bill of material, which will handle all my components as in what quantity I need, and if I am storing it in my warehouse, or if it is directly coming from somewhere outside. Okay, this is called bill of material. Work center. So work center can be a place, it can be a machine, it can be my labor as well, which is working on the product. Okay, so work center, we will see routing. I mentioned you, routing is set of my operations that I need to do to finish a product. Okay, so we'll see what configurations we are having in the routing. And the fourth master data will be my production version. So for production version, we do not have any configurations because that is only a combination of BOM and routing. Okay, so we'll go with the bill of material first, and whatever are the important configurations, we will be discussing on that. Okay, there are many things available which even I did not touch in my 11 years, so there is no need to discuss that. If you definitely want, you can explore it on your own as well. So if I open this, so here we have headers and items allowed, but after that there are few other things which we need to understand. Default values, yeah, this is not required. So BOM usage, so we'll start with the BOM usage first. Okay, so what is my BOM usage? BOM usage is, we have different usages here that we are going to use, not everything but only one for my production. Here you can see the production is there, and here you have production, engineering, spare, plant and maintenance, and sales. So for every topic I have one usage available. Okay, and where do we use usages? During creation. So if I go to CS01, which is my transaction for creating a bill of material, here I have usages. So if you open this, you will get the same list which is coming from my configuration here. Okay, so whenever we are doing production, we will be using one. If you are into some plant and maintenance, then you will be using 4. Okay, so that's where we need the usage understanding. So here again, there is no configuration involved. it is from standard that you are going to use 1. Yeah, this is also BOM usage 1. So for production, it will be by default 1 in all the projects. Okay. So it's not like only on this system you are able to see as 1, but this is a universal and a global setting. So even if you go to US and see any system, it will be 1 there. Even if you go to Europe, it will be 1 there. Okay. So this is a standard and default global setting from SAP. So this is about the usage, and you have to go to BOM material types. Okay. So what is my material type? Uh, we know in general, in layman language, we know raw materials, we know semi-finished good, we know finished good, right? These three everyone might be aware of, or if I say to you, you can imagine that this is my raw material, this could be my semi-finished product, and this could be my finished product, right? Apart from that, there are different material types available in SAP. Like we have packing materials. Okay, we have some pipeline materials. So the complete list is not defined by PP, but it is available in standard by SAP, and this comes under MM module. Okay, this is not our task to define any material types. So in the implementation project, if client says that I'm using something which is not available in standard, you can definitely customize and create your own, like this something, Zcon, ZHRR, right? Few things are created by custom, and this is done by the MM trainees who are working on this particular system. And by default, you can see so many different material types are available. But in most common from PP point of view, we will be using raw materials. Okay, we will be using HULP, which is my semi-finished. Where it go? This, and then we will be using FERT. There's three material types we are going to use, and that's where we need to understand where my configuration from BOM comes. Okay. So if you notice, I just told you one is for my manufacturing, right? And here you have a star. That means any material, let it be raw material also, it will be allowed to create a bill of material. BOM is bill of material. Okay. So here I know a few raw materials. So engine is my raw material. Engine Thar. And then I put my 1710, I input this, then it allows me to create a BOM for raw material as well, which is not correct. Okay, I will not have a BOM for a raw material in real life. I will have either for semi-finished product that I'm manufacturing in-house, and then I need some components to make a semi-finished product, or I would need a BOM to create a finished product, right? I do not need BOM for creating any other material types. That what I have seen since so many years. So usually what we do in a real project, if client is very new and not very specific, we can live with this particular setting. But if they say no, you have to make entries that I can only create BOM for FERT and I can create BOM for HULP, then you can do something similar to 2. Here you have to give new entries, and you can remove the star mark, and you can give 2 entries with FERT and HULP, which is my finished good and semi-finished good. Understood? And this is for the header. Okay, so we have two things here. This is header if I'm giving first, and then we have components. So again, we have one more configuration, that what type of components I can assign in my BOM. What are different material types allowed in my components. Go back, and then under the item data, you have define item categories. Sorry, not this. This is again important, I'll tell you, but we'll go here. Okay, define allowed material type for the item, BOM items. Here you can see the similar setting is available. So one, it has a star mark. That means I can add my raw materials, I can add my semi-finished product, or I can add any materials in my BOM component. Okay, so again here, if you want to restrict that, I can only add semi-finished product, I can only add finished product, and sorry, not finished product, only raw materials and few other custom material types, then I can give those many entries by clicking on new entry, and I can delete or I can remove this star mark. Okay, in this way you will be restricting your system that unnecessary bombs are not created, unnecessary components are not added. That's all. So what is my item category? So I also told you, here is my item category. Okay, let me open a bomb for you and show you what it looks like. So here you can see something I have mentioned as L. Okay, here you will see L is available here. What is L? It's a stock item for me. So whenever I am procuring any item, which is a raw material, or if I'm manufacturing in-house, which is a semi-finished product, I'm storing somewhere, right? I'm not keeping it in the air, right? I'm storing somewhere. So that will be my item type of L category. There could be some materials of type N as well. Okay, non-stock item. So what could be my examples of non-stock item that I am not storing? Anyone can imagine and let me know from their experience.
Consumable.
Consumable, still you will be storing somewhere, right? You will be buying and keeping it with you.
Some kind of documents or MSDS, something like
Documents,
that.
we have a different category D. Okay, so what kind of materials will be of N category is, in my project, what I have seen is gas and water. Okay, so I am putting as gas and water. I can store gas and water as well, right? I can store it in a water tank and I can put that as one location. And I can also store my gas in a gas tank and I can mention that as location. But if you have a requirement that my gas is coming directly from the pipes, so nowadays there is a pipeline gas. You are not bringing the gas cylinders anymore, even in the houses, right? So you are not creating a dedicated location in your house to store your gas cylinder, right? Nowadays that is gone. That space is utilized by your cupboards. Similar to that in SAP, if my gas is directly coming from the pipelines where I'm using it for either cutting, or if I'm using it for in the food manufacturing, I'm using it for cooking, then I'm going to mention that as non-stock item. Similar to that, if again my water is coming from directly pipeline, I'm not storing it somewhere, then I can again mention that water as because it will be part of my BOM component, I will have to mention them as non-stock item. Okay, so this could be your two examples which even I have seen in my real project. So if someone asks you tomorrow in the interview question, what could be my stock item, what could be my non-stock item, at least you can give this example. Okay, and there is definitely other categories which you may see in different clients. You may see
How
some
about
document.
any critical material or expensive materials that can be also treated as a non-stock, right?
Depends again about the business. Okay,
Okay.
if you're storing somewhere, it will be definitely a stock item. If
Okay.
you're not storing it, then it will be a non-stock item. And you have D. You may have to attach some brochures or some manuals that I need to give it during the installation or something, right? and then you can use the category D, and you need to store those documents in your SAP first. And it is not directly done. There is a different module called DMS, Document Management System, that has to be integrated, and then you have to use item category D, else it will not allow you directly to store or mention something as D. Okay, so there is a dependency here. So other items depends again on different business scenarios you may see, but the most common one from PP point of view, you will see stock, non-stock items. Okay, so that will come handy when you are creating a BOM for a material. Here you will see mostly L, because we do not have a non-stock item right now. Okay, so under the item data, item categories, material types which are allowed from the component level, those are important settings. Okay, rest of the settings again, you may use, you may not use, depending upon the business scenarios. Here, these are the two important settings from BOM. We'll go to the work center. So like I mentioned, work center can be a person, it can be a machine, or it can be my, in the repetitive manufacturing, it could be my assembly line. Okay, so how do we identify those? We'll see. So we have work center category. Here I have category 001 as machine, 003 as labor, and then I have a production line and also a processing unit. So this will be used in the manufacturing of a chemical industries or pharmaceuticals. Okay, processing unit will be used there along with labor, sometimes also along with machine. But if you directly want to use only processing unit, that is also possible. Okay, so most
So,
common.
based upon the process type, these all categories we can use, right?
Correct.
Okay,
So
so
007 will be used in your repetitive manufacturing. This will be used in your process. Machine and labor commonly can be used everywhere. Okay, so why I'm saying that I can use this in only process industry, why cannot I use in discrete industry? If you click on this and go to the applications, here you have only recipes, or we say as master recipes. There you do not have routing. So work center is part of my routing or master recipe. If you have not seen routing anytime, I'll show you how it looks like. CA03 Thar, double click, and then you see this work center, right? So work center will be assigned to my operations. Now if I am using a work center category as 008, okay, and I'm trying to use this particular work center in Thar, I will get a message that you cannot assign a category of 008 type in routing, because the allowed task list, which we also called it as a task list is allowed as master recipe only. Okay, so where do we have routings? If you go to machine, go to the application, here you have routings. You can also assign it into some quality inspection plans, or you can assign it into plant and maintenance task list. So machine can be used in either one of these, okay, or all of them. That's why I'm saying that this can be used in only master recipes or process industries, and this can be used either in routing or in the repetitive manufacturing. This is the standard setting from the SAP. If you go to the labor can be used in the production or the routings. It can be used in the inspection plans, and it can be used in the plant and maintenance as well.
So this
Okay,
application can be configured also, right? Based upon, can we change this because we can we are having that option of new entries.
correct. You can do it.
So in case of processing unit, we can maintain the routing also, right? So then if we will maintain that, then we can use in routings also the 0008 category.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. It is possible, but from standard, we get this setting. Okay.
Okay.
And like you mentioned, if you want, do not change anything which is standard, you copy, you create your own category then,
Okay,
right?
fine. Got it.
In standard, we don't change any standard settings. And I would also advise you to do not try to explore it in the standard because it will impact other processes as well. And then our class may get delayed if there is anything wrong or something which you have explored which has completely corrupted my system. Then it will be a challenging for us to bring everything back, and sometimes it has to roll back to the initial stage. Every master data, all the configurations will be gone.
Okay, okay. Got it, got it.
Harsh, how to copy the standard maintained in SAP?
So if you select this and here you have a copy as. So you can
Okay.
always copy as, and you can make this into Z or Y. So any customization we do in SAP always starts with either Z or Y.
Any particular rule for this from SAP?
Yeah, there is a rule.
Or
Okay, if I try to see, I will try to make it as A00. It is copied, but sometimes it will not allow you. It will ask you maintain Z or Y only. But again, as per the standard rule, what I have seen, we always try to maintain anything with Z and Y because that is always easily identifiable that this is custom. Okay, that is not standard. Because A, if you notice, A00 is again a standard naming convention in my controlling area, right? So people, if they want to go and see what is customized in my SAP, they will always try to find something with Z or Y. They will not think of that somebody has created with alphabets between this A, B, C or something. They will not identify those. So that is the reason it is always a standard way of doing it is do with Z and Y. Okay, so work center category. So we'll open one work center for you. Double click on this work center. Here you can see I have created of a machine category, and then I have usage as well. So if I want to use this machine and then I say universal or 009, then again I can use this work center in my recipes as well. From this I can control it from usage. Okay, so even if you do not put application there, you can control it from usage. Here if you say that I can use only for routings or only for production rate planning or rate routing and all those things, it will be limited to those. But if you say 9, then it can be used anywhere. So we do have multiple tabs here. We go till costing. We do not use technology and group. Okay. So what is important here? Work center category that we are discussing. We have person responsible. Then we have usage. Okay. Location will be used for different modules. Supply area will be used for different modules. Sometimes in SAP as well for Kanban and all those products. Okay, or the scenarios, which is again not part of this, but I can share you some documents on that. So yeah, another important thing. Okay, this standard value key. If you notice, I have assigned SAP1 and I'm getting few parameters over here. So if I assign SAP2 or SAP something, these parameters will either remain same or added or removed as well. So how do I control this? And what is the importance of standard value key? We will understand now. So here I have defined parameters that I can define, and then I have standard value key. So first we'll look in the standard value key. This is what I have used there. And if I open this, I have set up machine and labor, right? So most commonly captured items in SAP is either your setup time, what time machine took, and what time a labor is putting into to manufacture a product. Apart from this, you may want to capture other things like how much electricity I have used, right? How much gas I have used for a particular product. So how do I capture those units or those parameters? Then I need to maintain in my standard value key. And there is also a limitation of number of parameters I can capture is only up to 6. I cannot assign a 7th parameter. So this is very important interview question, as in what is the standard value key and how many parameters I can assign in my standard value key. Okay, so standard value key will help you to capture your parameters like setup, machine labor, and anything which you want, like gas or electricity or duration. Okay, and then this can be configured in your standard under the work center parameters. So you can add your own parameters as well, depending upon the business scenarios. So if you go down, you may have some Z. Okay. So what exactly a parameter holds? If I open this, you will have a short and how it is captured in mass. If it is electricity, it will be kilowatts. And what will be the standard unit? It will be kg. So gas is mostly weight in kgs, and their dimension is mass. Okay. So this particular thing are available from standard as well. So if I see I have something called as power, it will be kilowatt. Standard unit is kilowatt, and the dimension is power. Okay, so here if you want to capture something called electricity, you can use this, or if you want, you can change and put it as electricity and assign it in the standard value key. So how I'm saying capturing, so how exactly it captures? Will it capture automatically? No. If I have to go and see how do I capture those things, I am doing operations, right? And in the operations, I will say this particular labor will work for 5 hours. This particular machine will work for so many hours. And this is my duration. This is my electricity used for installing engines and chassis. Some robotic machines are working, and I want to capture electricity behind that. So once you assign this work center has standard value key, and then you get an option towards your right hand side to give the values. So for machine 60 minutes, for labor 35 minutes. Similarly, if you add more parameters, you will get available here. If you want, because you will know electricity by doing the continuous process, you would know that okay, for each operation I'm spending these many kilowatts, or I'm spending this many hours of electricity. So according to your information, you have to maintain it here. And who will give you this information? The shop floor supervisor, or the person who is responsible for manufacturing the product, or making this particular routing. They will be doing it in some system or Excel, right? So you have to get that data during your workshops. You have to explain that I need to capture what are you capturing and how much you are capturing. That data you need to give it to me in the template, and then we will be using that template to make our routing during implementation project.
So this data is hourly or the daily consumption?
Again, it depends upon the business how they want to capture. So
Okay.
when you do the confirmations, when you are done with the operation, right, then only I will say it is completed. So whenever you are doing completed, you have to put actuals. So I'm giving some data here, right? I'm saying 60 minutes. This is my planned data. that I have planned, and I have seen from my experience that it will not take more than 60 minutes for doing one particular operation of install engine and chassis, right? Now, this could be either more or less. Then when we are doing confirmations, when we are doing execution of a production order, we will see that I can update this data, and that is called actuals. So there is a planned activity, there is an actual activity. The difference between this is called as a variance. Okay, that has to be calculated by the costing team, and then that has to go in the reports of the company, as in why this variance came. If it is low, why low variance? If it is high, why high variance? Okay, was it any breakdown? Was my labor not effective or efficient enough to do the, then they will take some necessary actions to fix that. Okay, but as a PP guy, we should be only bothered about my operation and the data which I need to fill in. How do I get it from the end user? So suppose you are end user, you do not know SAP, right? I am explaining you SAP. So I told you this is exactly I need for making a routing. Now, will you be able to give me the data? If you know the data, right, you will be able to give me. If I ask you, Samir, can you tell me for this particular operation how much machine hours you are putting, if it is in minutes or hours? You can say, okay, let me check my Excel file and I can give you the data. Similar activity, what we are going to do is in our implementation workshops. Okay, fine. So I'll stop here on the standard value key, and then we'll continue on Monday.